An AI just designed a vaccine from scratch, and it passed a human clinical trial. Let that sink in. Not assisted, not optimized, designed entirely by artificial intelligence from the ground up, and it just cleared one of the highest bars in all of medicine. The University of Cambridge and biotech company DioSynVax have confirmed that their AI-designed universal coronavirus vaccine has successfully completed its first human clinical trial. The results are in. It works. And the implications go so far beyond COVID that scientists are already asking the next question out loud. Could this exact same strategy crack Ebola? Here is why this is a genuine watershed moment and not just another AI hype headline. Traditional vaccine development works by exposing the immune system to a known version of a virus, a fragment of its spike protein, a weakened form, a dead copy. The problem is that viruses mutate. The version the vaccine was trained on is never quite the version that shows up next winter. That is the arms race that has defined pandemic response for a century. What DioSynVax did differently is feed an AI vast libraries of coronavirus genetic data across dozens of strains, past, present, and projected future variants, and let the model identify the conserved structural features that almost never change. The parts of the virus that, if you knock them out, the whole thing falls apart, no matter what strain it is. The AI then designed a synthetic antigen, a molecular shape that does not exist in nature, specifically engineered to trigger immunity against all of those conserved targets simultaneously. Needle-free delivery, broad-spectrum protection, and now confirmed safe and immunogenic in humans. Scientists involved in the trial are already pointing at the Ebola data coming out of the Democratic Republic of Congo, 452 confirmed cases, 82 deaths in the most recent outbreak, and saying the same computational framework could be applied immediately. This is not theoretical. The pipeline is real, the precedent is set, and the AI that built this vaccine just changed the rules of what biomedical research looks like going forward. Most people were watching the AI vaccine story or tracking Apple's WWDC announcements on June 8th, and that means almost everyone completely missed what Microsoft quietly dropped at Build 2026 earlier this week. Not one model. Not two. An entire new AI model family, and one of them was trained without a single line of OpenAI data. That detail is not a footnote. That is a declaration of independence. Microsoft unveiled MAI Thinking 1, its first fully in-house reasoning model built entirely on Microsoft's own research and infrastructure. No OpenAI involvement. No GPT lineage. This is Microsoft saying, out loud in front of the whole industry, we can build frontier models ourselves now. And they did not stop there. Alongside MAI Thinking 1, they rolled out MAI Code 1 Flash, a specialized coding model now live across all GitHub Copilot plans as of Build Week, plus new speech models and image models under the expanding MAI family, all accessible through Azure AI Foundry. The speed of this rollout is staggering. Microsoft went from being almost entirely dependent on OpenAI's models to having a diversified in-house model portfolio in what feels like overnight. But here is the part that really flew under the radar. Also at Build 2026, Microsoft announced that MDASH, their 100-agent agentic AI security system, has entered expanded preview with native integration into the Microsoft Defender portal. MDASH is not a chatbot for your IT department. It is a fully autonomous multi-agent system where 100 specialized AI agents coordinate in real time to detect, analyze, and respond to cybersecurity threats. This week it posted a 96.55% score on the CyberGym benchmark, a standardized test for AI security systems, which is roughly 10 percentage points higher than it scored just 3 weeks earlier. 10 points in 3 weeks. The system is improving at a pace that human security analysts simply cannot match. Think about what that means operationally. Most enterprise security teams are stretched thin, dealing with alert fatigue, staff shortages, and threat actors who are themselves using AI to probe for vulnerabilities. MDASH represents a paradigm where your defense layer is not just AI-assisted. It is AI-native, running continuously, improving continuously, and now sitting directly inside the Defender portal that millions of enterprise customers already use every day. The quiet integration move is the whole story here. Microsoft did not launch a new product and ask you to switch workflows. They embedded the most capable AI security agent system ever benchmarked directly into the tool enterprises are already logged into. That is how you win an enterprise market without anyone noticing until it is already done. Let us talk about the power moves happening at the industry level this week, because there are several and they are connected in ways that matter. Start with Microsoft. The launch of MAI Thinking 1, a reasoning model explicitly trained without OpenAI data, is not just a technical achievement. It is a strategic signal sent directly to OpenAI, to investors, and to regulators who have been scrutinizing the Microsoft Open AI relationship for years. Microsoft owns roughly 49% of OpenAI's capped profit structure. They have been the primary distribution channel for GPT models through Azure, and now they are building competing models in-house. The relationship is not over. OpenAI models still run on Azure, but the dynamic has fundamentally shifted. Microsoft is no longer a dependent. They are a parallel competitor with infrastructure leverage that OpenAI cannot match. Meanwhile, Apple's WWDC 2026 kicked off on June 8th, and the story is as much about what was not announced as what was. The expectation going in was that Apple Intelligence would take a significant leap, deeper Siri integration, more on-device model capability, partnership expansions beyond the existing OpenAI deal. What the market is watching closely is whether Apple announces any new AI model partnerships, or, more explosively, whether they signal moves toward building more proprietary model infrastructure. Apple's sitting on the sidelines of the foundation model race, while every other major tech company fields their own models, is a position that looks increasingly untenable. Every quarter that passes without Apple owning a frontier model is a quarter where they are dependent on a competitor's technology to power their flagship AI features. That is a strategic vulnerability at a scale that makes even Apple's cash reserves look insufficient as a moat. And then there is the geopolitical layer, which is escalating fast. France is testing Arcadia, a European-built AI battlefield command and control system, as a direct alternative to Maven, the American AI system currently used by NATO. This is not a minor procurement story. This is Europe signaling that it does not want to depend on American AI infrastructure for its own military decision-making. Maven, developed with U.S. firms, gives American defense contractors, and by extension the U.S. government, visibility into how NATO allies are making battlefield decisions. Arcadia is France's answer to that. The fact that this is being tested in live NATO drills right now means the fracturing of AI dependency is not just happening in the commercial tech stack. It is happening inside the most powerful military alliance in human history. And from the emerging markets side, Reliance Infrastructure in India launched 3 dedicated AI subsidiaries this week, sending shares up 5% in a single session. India is not waiting for Silicon Valley to export AI solutions. The capital is flowing domestically, the government tailwind is real, and companies like Reliance are moving with the urgency of a market that understands it has a narrow window to build infrastructure before the global landscape locks in. The next 18 months in AI are going to be defined by who owns the infrastructure layer, compute, models, deployment pipelines, and right now that race is being run simultaneously on 4 continents. This week's tool is MAI Code 1 Flash from Microsoft, and if you have a GitHub Copilot subscription, including the free tier, it is available to you right now today. One sentence. It is a specialized AI coding model built in-house by Microsoft that is faster and more token-efficient than general-purpose models for coding tasks, and it rolled out to all Copilot plans simultaneously at Build 2026. Here is a concrete use case. You are a solo developer or a small team maintaining a legacy codebase, something in Python 2 or old Java, or a Rails app nobody has touched in 4 years. You open GitHub Copilot in VS Code, switch to the MAI Code 1 Flash model in the model picker, and you start asking it to explain what specific functions are doing, suggest refactors, write unit tests for undocumented methods, and flag security vulnerabilities. The Flash architecture means responses come back noticeably faster than with heavier reasoning models, which matters enormously when you are iterating quickly through hundreds of files. It is not trying to outthink GPT-4 on a philosophy exam. It is purpose-built to be the fastest, most accurate coding assistant at the price point where most developers actually live. Free tier, no credit card required beyond your existing GitHub account. The broader significance is that Microsoft now has a dedicated coding model in the Copilot product that is entirely independent of OpenAI's model stack. Which means if the Microsoft OpenAI relationship ever becomes commercially complicated, GitHub Copilot does not go dark. That is a resilience play dressed up as a product launch, and it happens to be genuinely useful. Go to github.com/features/copilot, activate the free plan if you have not already, pull up the model selector in VS Code or JetBrains, and switch to MAI Code 1 Flash. Run it on your messiest file. You will not go back. If you thought that was wild, you need to see what Microsoft dropped on their quantum computing claims last week. The Majorana 2 chip controversy is breaking open, and the video is on your screen right now.